Let's go to our guests now. In the Mauritian capital, Port Louis is the leader of the Chagos Refugee Group, Olivier Bancoult. And in Tokyo, we have Constantinos Yiallourides. He's an expert in international law and territorial disputes. Gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Olivier, this ICJ court ruling, is it justice for Chagosians?
Yes, it was justice for Chagosians because it's a great opportunity for our people to let the world know how we have been suffering for so many years. How the UK government banished our rights. And as you know, as Chagosian, as individual, it was impossible for us to be the International Court of Justice. But with the help of our Mauritian government, we have been able to express with evidence to show how we were living in peace and harmony. And now it's a great opportunity to let the world know, because as you know, the UK government always present themselves as a champion of human rights.
Right.
But what they did with Chagosian, many people don't aware.
Okay, but Olivier, this is undoubtedly a great opportunity to tell the world your story. It's undoubtedly an opportunity to let people know about the displacement, the dispossession, the human rights abuses. But the court ruling says the UK must return the islands as rapidly as possible. But who's going to enforce that? Who's going to force the UK to do so?
You know, even if the advisory opinion is not binding, but it has a power, because, as you know, the International Court of Justice been put in place by the United Nations, where we have all states. Among the states, we have UK and US. No one can deny that. And we think that what the opinions that have been given by the ICJ need to take in consideration. And as the judge conclusion said, that we need to put an end to all the suffering of Chagosian, and at the same time to return to Mauritius what had been detached before its independence.
Right. Constantinos, Olivier is encouraged by the ruling. Does he have good reason to be very encouraged?
I think he has good reasons, yes. Yes, this is an advisory opinion of the court, and as such, it has no binding force. Nevertheless, despite its non-binding character, this is an advisory opinion of the principal judicial organ of the United Nations, and does carry great legal weight as well as moral authority. It provides an authoritative and well-reasoned interpretation of the applicable rules of international law. Now, the UK is a country that prides itself on respect for the rule of law. To me, it is inconceivable that the UK would simply ignore this opinion.
Yes. So, Olivier, throughout your struggle, you've got the UK that you're up against, and of course the United States with Diego Garcia, the military base. Has it felt like you've been David versus Goliath?
Yeah, of course. Our struggle has always been that, like David versus Goliath, because it's something that is a group of small people facing a big power. Not one power, it's two big power, US and UK. You know, but we have never given up, because we consider our fundamental rights, our dignity as all human beings need to be respected. This is why we believe in what we are doing, because it's something that, according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that every people have the right to live on his birthplace. And we cannot understand how could it be impossible for us to go and return living in Chagos, whereas other people can do so.
Constantinos, the UK Foreign Office said, and I quote them, "The defence facilities on the British Indian Ocean territory help to protect people here in Britain and around the world from terrorist threats, organised crime and piracy." That's what the Foreign Office said. With that in mind, that's going to be their reasoning. We need this for strategic purposes. Is that going to be enough for them in the international arena, given the pressure after the ruling?
Now, the court found that the UK's administration of Chagos is a continuing internationally wrongful act, which the UK is under an obligation to seize as soon as possible. There is no silver lining here. The UK put forth some good arguments before the court, but it lost the case, and it lost it badly. And that impacts directly on the British sovereignty over Chagos. So either the UK has no sovereignty over the islands at all, or even if it has sovereignty, it's obliged to relinquish that sovereignty to Mauritius as soon as possible.
What's the next step then, Constantinos? What's the next step in this battle?
So the ICJ found, first of all, that the detachment by the UK of Chagos from the British colony of Mauritius to make room for what is now a fully fledged US military basis in the Indian Ocean was unlawful. Accordingly, the process of decolonization of Mauritius was never legally completed. So now all states, including the UK, are under a legal obligation to cooperate with the UN to complete the process of decolonization of Mauritius. Mm-hmm. So now the UN General Assembly has the first say of what happens next.
Okay, so Olivier, tell me how you see the next stage in this battle and what you'll be doing.
Yeah, our next move will be together with the Mauritian government because, as you know, the only government who prevent us to return is the UK government. We have been fighting for many years. We have ongoing cases in the court in UK, but we never give up because we consider it's unlawful, it's not fair what the UK do with us because he pretends to be a champion of human rights, to protect human rights, but he abused himself about the Chagosian human rights. And this is why we consider that both with the Mauritian government, we are working together to see how will be our next move. Of course, we need to return back as a resolution to United Nations because we should not forget there was a vote taking place in June 22nd, 2016, where 94 votes for Mauritius and only 15 for UK. And with that, we have also the oral evidence and even the written evidence where most of the country have support Mauritius and condemned the attitude of the UK government. Now it's clear that things need to be moved forward.
Yeah, Constantinos, when the actual evictions happened, diplomatic cables referred to the islanders who were evicted off their homelands as Tarzans and Man Fridays, right? So there was a fundamental deep racism also within this act of colonialism. Has Britain failed to actually come to terms with the fact that a huge injustice took place there?
No, I think the UK said that what happened to Chagosian nationals is to be regretted. But what the court said, and I like to confine myself to that, is that post-colonial legacies in the 21st century are unlawful as a matter of international law, and no one can argue against that.
Okay, well, let's wait and see as to what happens as we enter the next stage of this battle for Chagosians trying to return to their homeland. Olivier Bancoult and Constantinos Yiallourides, I thank you both for joining us here on the Newsmakers.